Hey friends, welcome back to an episode of Saturday Morning Collectibles. I'm here around Cincinnati, Ohio, and I am at the toy department. And multiple people on Facebook recommended this place to me. On the way up here, I stopped at Toy Headquarters in Lexington, and the owner also recommended this place to me, said it was one of the best toy stores that he's ever been to. So the hype is real here. I'm so excited to go in and see what they got. So let's go.
You can have it for $20 if you want that one, or you can have this one. Okay.
Hey guys, yeah, so first off, I'm doing a voiceover. There was just so many people in there that I didn't feel comfortable talking over them. But what I'm going to do here, this video is going to be very long. This store is massive, or I should say, well, the new store is even more massive. This is the old store. I went here back in June, and with baseball season going on with the boys, I just hadn't had time to edit the video and upload it. But the new store is even bigger. So what I'm going to do here is, as this is going, I'm going to attempt to show you everything that I'm kind of seeing, and there is a lot. So if you guys see anything in the comments that I might have missed that you guys were excited to see, feel free to let me know. I hope to make it back up to the new store very soon. This is one of the best stores that I've been to in the country as far as toys and collectibles go. Yeah, so right away you're seeing a lot of stuff. Hot Toys over there, Pokemon cards. They have singles here, mostly Marvel that I saw, Star Wars Black Series, but here's some NECA. You got the Bride of Frankenstein, April O'Neil, massive hot toy right there with Boba Fett. There's a 1-Up arcade. I have that at the house. It's really awesome, by the way. As is any toy store, they're going to have tons and tons and tons of Funko Pops there, so you see those on the wall. This was a bunch of video games. I mean, this store has everything that you could possibly think of. Lots of cases here. If it's in a case, it's going to be more than likely vintage or something very valuable. So keep your eyes open for what you're going to see in the case here. This first row, it's nothing but Marvel here on the left side. On the right side is, I'd say, more late 90s, early 2000 figures for Marvel. Still a bunch of cool stuff that I remember having as a kid. Ninja Turtles, or NECA. I see the SDCC one up at the top there, the case. That's pretty neat to see. You got Super 7 Ninja Turtles, which we'll see here in a second. Here's some of the reissued Playmates, some of the older ones, the early 2000s up there I saw, and here's some of the Nickelodeon series that there. They've got a bunch of the NECA ones that you're going to see at Target, the cartoon series there. Can't remember what the pricing was. I'm pretty sure they were fairly reasonable. Yes, it's hard to see what the price tag is right there. There's Archie. They had mostly everything that NECA's released. They weren't missing much. Here's some Walking Dead. I mean, this store's got everything you could possibly think of. Over here's some Disney product. There's a Shaquille O'Neal statue. I'm pretty sure I had that one as a kid too. $6. That's pretty hilarious. We're moving into the Lego section here. These were already pre-built. They were able to put them in the showcase there. And here's some of the other ones they have, the bigger ones. I like that Millennium Falcon up there. You guys collect Legos? My oldest boy's starting to get into them. Pretty fun, I'd say. This is Power Rangers aisle. This is going to be some of the newer stuff for the Power Rangers. Over here on the left, wrestling. I got some wrestling buddies out there that I know. Any of my wrestling friends see anything cool in here that you would have liked to have seen in person for yourself? A lot. I used to have a lot of wrestling figures as a kid. I watched WCW quite a bit in the 90s. Anybody remember the NWO days out there? That was peak wrestling for me. And I had a ton of the wrestling figures from back then. Megazord. My brother has that one. I had Dragon Zord.
Hey, buddy.
Matchbox cars, I got plenty of those. Here's the Motu / Thundercats aisle. This was a really cool aisle for myself, being a fan of both of them in the 80s. But yeah, up here's some more of the Thundercats stuff. I love that Chitara right up there. First crush was Chitara back in the late 80s. I kind of go over this case fairly quickly, but I'll go over it again. I realized later that I went through it rather fast, so I do make another pass here in a second. Yeah, they had all the Super 7 Thundercats or He-Man stuff there. Some singles.
You guys see
there was some Turtles stuff there too for Super 7, I saw. Oh yeah, here's some more of the singles that they're gonna have. Okay, now here's the case that I wanted to show slower and more detail. There's some very cool retro vintage Motu back in there. I only have one at home, and that's with Tongue last year. He was my favorite one, so I have that one. Mint on card, 1985. Very cool piece of my collection I'll never get rid of. Do you guys have any carded Motu? Curious to hear what you guys have. This back wall is more modern things that you're going to see. Bunch of Star Wars stuff. You got some of the older ones, the Kenner older ones. You got the red backs, the green backs. Bunch of newer ones too that you're going to see. Here's some Transformers. Yeah, here's some more of the vintage Transformers line. I know I got some Transformers buddies out there that might be watching this video. What do you guys think of what you see in these cases? Anything shocking, like very hard to find, retro out there? I'm not too familiar with it, so I'll probably pan right over it really fast. Here's some retro vintage Power Rangers. I did have quite a few of these growing up. I had all the individual ones. Look at those shoes. Pink Ranger, Kimberly, she was my second crush growing up. Love Kimberly, love the Pink Ranger.
I'm right here, boys. What'd you find?
All potato head there. There's some more of the vehicles. I see Dragon Zord there.
Starting lineup.
I still have that package at the house. It's a little ripped up from when I had it as a kid, but I still have the whole thing. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I kept it.
Who's it?
Lots and lots and lots of Black Series there on the case, on the wall there. Here's some pretty cool 80s, 90s vintage. There's Dick Tracy. I had all of those guys. It was really cool to see it on card. Really reasonable too. I mean, this guy was only $15 on card. I don't think they had a very wide selection there of these guys, but I mean, still to see them on card again was pretty neat. You don't find those every day. The Tick, Lord of the Rings. I had some of those. Still have them in package. Actually, I was a big Lord of the Rings. I am a big Lord of the Rings fan. One of my favorite fantasy series of all time. Bucky O'Hare. I'll tell you one on-card Bucky O'Hare figure that I'm still looking out for is Alligator. He was one of my favorite, or he was my favorite character and toy from Bucky O'Hare. I have him loose, but I'd love to find him on card. They didn't have him on card here. This is some type of re-release that I noticed. It's not the vintage line. They did have some of the vintage ones, I believe, but again, not Alligator. Panning to the other side, we see some of the more vintage, newer, also hard to find, Black Series, Star Wars stuff. There's some of the Rebels characters. I got them fairly highly marked up there. I'm not sure what the price they normally go to. Here's some of the retro ones, like vintage, old school. Those are really cool to see. On card and over here loose. We got some on card and loose ones here to see. You don't see those every day.
Hold on.
It's pretty neat. Good variety.
So is it, Daddy?
Is it what?
The best toy store in the U.S.?
I've not got to the turtles section yet.
Where's the turtle section?
Here's loose G.I. Joe. This whole section right here was G.I. Joe. Like I've said this, I sound like a broken record, but I had a lot of these as a kid. You know, I was fortunate in the 80s and 90s to have lots of toys to play with, and I feel like it was a very cool era to grow up in as far as toy collecting was, and just playing with these awesome toys. So I still have a lot of those G.I. Joes loose. Here's some of the more modern. I'm not into the modern G.I. Joe, but yeah, here's some carded. They're not cheap. They're very collectible. It can cost a pretty penny too if you get into that collecting game. Even the loose ones here, some of them are up there in price. Now this is what I wanted to see when I came here, was the Ninja Turtle section. While they had a lot, there's a giant monkey.
Max, I
That's
heard
really
you.
cool.
Give me a second.
They had a lot. They had more that I found out later that they hadn't put out, because I saw pictures of the new store and they were loaded. But here they didn't have as wide a selection as I would have hoped, but they still had quite a bit. I didn't end up picking any up. Just didn't see any that I really wanted for the right price on here. But I mean, well, there's Space Rat for $50. That's a really good deal. As Undercover Don, I already have him. Fugitoid, I'd like to get him one day on card. But yeah, 2 rows. Not a whole lot of selection there. But like I said, the new store, if you're a TMNT fan like myself, has a much larger selection, which is why I want to go to the new store, hopefully soon. Yeah, this video is about to wrap up, so I'm going to stop here and just let the rest of the video play itself out. We're going to end up on some starting lineup figures. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this place. Have you been here before? Is this a must stop for you? I had a great time.